Hi, my name is Ruben. I am a pastor in the ELCA, but also I'm a member of Bethlehem, and I'm so happy to be part of your class during this confirmation classes that you have, and I'm delighted to be a part of your experience here. So thank you for the opportunity to be with you in your class. So I am a pastor right now serving at a church in New Hope in Aurora, Illinois, as an interim, and so that's why you don't see me at Bethlehem these days. But believe me, I'm just delighted to be part of the community in St. Charles. So now I want to address with you just a subject that has to do with trusting God, even in difficult times. So, for example, I don't know, when was the last time you had a bad day? I mean, everybody has a bad day. Probably, fell asleep and you were late for everything that day. I mean, it's just terrible. Or maybe a whole bad week. Or maybe you got hurt, or you got grounded. I don't know. And then you're maybe even cursing everybody because you just had a bad week. And some of us even have a bad year. I mean, you never know. So how do we handle that? How do you fall when you get up when you fall, or how do we recover from those bad times? So I want to use a story in the Bible to illustrate that, and then hopefully that will help you in your thinking and your conversations in class. But I've been inspired by a fellow by the name of Job, J-O-B, in the Old Testament in the Bible. And Job was a person that trusted God and grew up in faith, and his family. And so, but in the story of the book of Job, interesting twist begins to happen. It's almost like there's a questioning whether God really cares. There's a big exclamation or questioning exclamation point saying, is God really present, real? Why is it that bad things happen to good people? Why is it that when there's suffering or hurt, it seems like nobody cares and all that? So Job goes through all that. So first of all, Job loses his wife, and so he's sad, of course, and struggling with that, and began to even question a little bit, why did this have to happen? If that were enough, my goodness, he lost a child, and not only that, he lost his crops in being in an agricultural area. And so in that process, he's still trusting God, but, kind of questioning a little bit and sometimes angry about that. And, so the thing got a little bit worse when even his friends, his buddies, come and say, Job, maybe you've done something bad. And maybe, you're being punished for, wonder what you did. And so he, of course, says, no, that's not true. But then in secret, he begins to even questioning himself. And so all of a sudden now he is having a pity party of his own and even blaming himself. My goodness, when is this going to stop? So the peer pressure of his friends and questioning, of people in the community, his family, and then now himself, kind of beating himself up, thinking that, maybe this is my reward for something or maybe somebody before me did something bad and then I'm paying for those things. Those were the thinking of the days of Job, and as you can see, not much has changed in humanity. So he's going through all that. So somewhere along the line, then he says, you know what? I'm going to stop talking to these friends. I'm going to start just thinking about myself. I'm just going to stop taking all the blame from society and all that. I'm going to go directly with God and just get to it. And so he does. He, gets on his knees and all that. Oh, and I forgot. He also got sick. He had this terrible illness in his skin and all that. And so he even felt terrible meeting with other people. So anyways, he goes directly to God. Why? Where are you? And so he begins to reflect on that, and there's no voice, there's nothing miraculous like that, just his own sense of understanding that, the more I talk to God, the more I express even my anger, my fear, and all that, I seem to be getting some sense of some inner peace. It's hard to explain sometimes, but it's just a sense that, you know what, in the end, I understand God is in control. That's despite everything that is taking place, there is still that line, and then it seems like I am not really alone after all. And so in that dialogue, he also hears and reads more that, how God created the heavens and takes care of all the details and all that. And he begins to understand also that sometimes suffering is not produced by God. Sometimes, it is consequence of a whole issues coming toward us in society. And so he realizes, okay, so really I'm not crazy, I'm not bad, but having doubts with God is okay. I'm not a bad person. I'm angry with God, but God says it's okay. That's all right. Just don't lose that line. Just don't lose that sense of trust. Don't lose that assurance that no matter what happens in your life, God is there. So whatever you are facing this day, had a bad day, bad week, bad year, peer pressure from friends and all the things that you're going through, just don't ever forget that God loves you, God cares about you, God is there when you need Him. And even in the worst possible situations, I believe God is at God's best because God understands what we're going through. So I hope you continue your class, enjoy yourself, and hope to see you in Bethlehem soon. So thank you for this opportunity, and God bless you.